Evening Muttonistas, a Wednesday evening in sunny Manchester, and what a pleasant evening it is as well. Tonight we're going to see another football vlog featuring the club that sold Erling Haaland to Manchester City, Borussia Dortmund, visiting City. So come and join me for what I hope is going to be another exciting match day vlog. Well, those who know Manchester well will know that the visiting supporters tend to congregate around Sinclair's Oyster Bar between Deansgate and Cross Street. I don't have that much time as usual for a midweek evening game, so it's going to be straight on to the food segment without covering what the away fans are up to. Now, a few days ago I went around scouring the northern quarter looking for interesting places to eat, but what I've plumped for tonight is a place I've passed many a time, actually on the edge of the northern quarter and the northern side of Piccadilly Gardens, called Bundobust. It's a vegetarian Indian which serves interesting craft beers. They have one in Leeds as well. I don't know whether they're a national chain or not, but I do actually really like Indian vegetarian. It's the one cuisine where I'm not really going to miss the meat. It is the world's best vegetarian cuisine, so let's go in, see how their food is. So I must admit, I'm very impressed already. Straight in front of me, staring me in the face, a bar with tons and tons of little taps with lots of craft beers and a beer board. Plenty of pale ales up there, so my type of beer, absolutely. And they even have one on cask, which is the first time I've seen a cask beer at a place serving Indian food. Anyway, down to the menu. And oh, if you could get a big group of football supporters here, look at that, 100 quid, every dish on the menu, 6 to 8 people. As it is, they recommend 2 or 3 dishes, so obviously I'm going to go for 3. And as is often the case post-COVID, you have to scan the QR code. And I have to say, that sounds interesting, bargy butty. But one thing I'm definitely going to have, because I like this combination, is chole sag, chickpeas and spinach. I'm going to have the chaat, which I'll describe when it arrives, which is another of my favourites. Lots of sour and hot flavours involved there. And how about that for fusion? Mushy peas Indian style. And for the third dish, I can't make my mind up between the bhajis and the paneer tikka. So what the hell, let's order both. And one thing I'll say about this place is that you can just come here for drinks and do, or drink and a little snack. And for me, that makes it a great place to come before a match. Anyway, I'm getting hungry, I'm getting thirsty, I'm ready to start digging in. And my drink has arrived. I have gone for the New Delhi Dazzler, which is a collaboration between one of my favourite breweries, the Northern Monk, and Bundobust. There was a cask best bitter, but I think this style of beer would go better with my food. And these days, let's face it, keg pale ales are pretty damn good now. And just a note, for those who want wine, yes, they do have wine. Doesn't look like the most inspiring wine list, but it looks okay. And obviously soft drinks for those who want those. My pint of New Delhi Dazzler has arrived. Let's give this a little whirl. So that's light hoppy with a taste of tropical fruit. That's not my usual style of beer, but I feel as if it might go pretty well with the food. So cheers to that and come on City. Shortly afterwards, my dishes arrived, served tapas style in small portions. I had onion and fenugreek bhaji, delicious, chola sag, chickpeas with spinach, a lot of chickpeas, not that much spinach, but still very tasty and traditional, served with fried puris, very unhealthy but delicious round flat breads. Samosa chaat, crushed samosas with sev, that crispy stuff on top, with yoghurt, tamarind chutney and a spicy tomato chutney. Very traditional Indian street food. I love it myself and it's served cold. And we had paneer kebab, paneer tikka, something I love many don't. The bhajis were beautifully crispy, which is an essential for a good onion bhaji. I think broccoli was even one of the other vegetables in the bhaji. Most unusual, but if that's all you want, that would make a great beer snack. I don't like my food overly sweet, so the sweet chutney wasn't something I was that keen on. Now, there are two dishes that I actually judge Indian restaurants on. One is their biryani, which is often messed up, but also how they cook their paneer. A lot of Indian restaurants just slap a bit of yogurt and a few spices on some paneer that they've bought from an Indian wholesalers. They've not marinated it or taken any care of it. So, I'm probably going to judge this place by how good the paneer is. And good it was too, very good. And I loved the yoghurt and tomato chutneys they served it with, so they obviously know their stuff here. And I know a lot of you are unsure about what paneer is or just don't like it, and yes, it can taste a bit bland on its own, but the secret is how you marinate and prepare it, or the curry you cook it in. Now, on to the chaat. This is probably a dish many of you are unfamiliar with. The chaat is a cold dish, usually of crushed samosas or chickpeas or aloo tikki, that's potato patties, and they're covered in that crispy stuff called sev, which doesn't have to be on top, but what is essential is yoghurt, tamarind chutney for the sourness, and a little bit of either tomato chutney or coriander chutney. And of course, whilst the chaat, and for that matter the paneer, weren't as good as you get on the subcontinent, they were still pretty good and almost as good as I've had in the UK. And for those interested in more information about chaats, look in my back catalogue of videos for a video I made from Pakistan earlier this year called The Chaats of Karachi. Cheers. And finally onto the chola sag, the chickpeas and spinach. And if you remember, 2 little round fried breads called puris came with the dish. Now puris are whole wheat breads which are deep fried, and when they come straight out of the fryer, they are actually puffed up in their shape, but they are an absolutely typical roadside Indian snack or street side snack, often served with pulses, and chickpeas are obviously one of the most popular accompaniments. And I'd go so far as to say that the taste was absolutely classic. A rich gravy, very, very well spiced, and by that I mean with a big range of spices, not too much chilli, which is what a lot of people in Britain complain about when they refer to a dish as being too spicy. Good Indian food uses a big variety of spices, not just chilli. Anyway, Muttonistas, I'm going to polish this off because we need to go to the Monk and talk footy. So, Muttonistas, what a meal that was. I think the 4th tapa, or the 4th Indian snack, was a little bit too much and I couldn't quite finish it. But it set me up beautifully to declare myself match fit for the game tonight. Anyway, we're down at the Northern Monk. Let's take a pint and discuss the game. Anyway, Muttonistas, here we are. A pint of the Eternal Session Ale from the Northern Monk, one of my favourites here. On form as usual, and to talk about the game, in the past when City have faced German teams, they've always found that they've come a little bit slightly tactically undone, and it's been an uphill struggle to scrape a win out of the game. However, occasionally, as for Schalke a few years ago, we've played very much weakened German teams, and I remember on that occasion we won 7-0. Now, Dortmund's form has been very patchy. They looked awful for their 3-0 loss at the weekend, but I've seen that before, them rising to the occasion and playing well in the Champions League. And some of the players, like Royce and Hummels, have a wealth of experience. I don't know how long they've been playing for Dortmund for, but my guess is it will be a 2-1 or 3-1 win with City prevailing eventually. As for the City team news, very interesting, particularly at the back. We have our new signing Akanji, who came from Dortmund, and Nathan Ake at the back. Not sure why Diaz isn't playing. Stones moves into right back, which always gives me the wobbles. And we have Cancelo Bernardo in his normal position at left back. Further forward, Bernardo and Foden are not playing, and we have the rather suspect wide pairing of Mahrez and Grealish playing. Let's hope they put in a good performance today. Enough match talk, let's get on with the drinking, and we'll see you when we get to the stadium. Followed in, nothing much has happened, the odd half chance at each end, more at City's attacking end. I feel as if we're not far away from making a breakthrough, although I have to say they do carry some threat on the counter. So half-time here, City 0, Dortmund 0, and not much goalmouth action at all to report. They've had the odd potentially dangerous counter-attack. We've had the odd dangerous attack where a better final ball might have got things through. And in particular, Grealish again, great position, but every shot he's taken has hit a defender, and his cutbacks have never found one of our players. And Dortmund's tactics seem to be a sort of imitation or a pale imitation of something Klopp's used with City to effect for Liverpool, which is not to press the ball when it comes out from the keeper, but to try and force a turnover on the centre circle. Fortunately, City have been wise to that so far, but there is a clear danger there, and we have to be careful about that. This is a match that could easily go pear-shaped. I expect City to hopefully bring on Bernardo and Foden and change things up a bit, because again, Mahrez and Grealish have not been doing the business on the wings. City should be able to get the business done in the second half, but you never know in these games. There is a clear danger here. We could get mugged and lose 1-0. And let's face it, Dortmund have been defending well. A bad result in the Champions League group stage isn't the end of the world, but it's one we could do without. So come on, City, let's do a bit better in the second half. City 0, Dortmund 1. City were entering a very sloppy period of play, and Bernardo, I think, was about to come on, and I was hoping that they didn't score from that corner before he did come on. Maybe it's the kick up the arse needed, because the passing has been sloppy, tracking the runners has been sloppy, and okay, I don't think everything in that move for the goal was intentional, but it counts and they're 1-0 out. 70 minutes in, City are looking better, more penetrating, but no end product. I have to say, Dortmund are defending extremely well. They're playing their tactical game plan to perfection. But there's still 20 minutes left. We've done it before, we can do it again. Go on. And I just said it, they are defending well. On the Dortmund keeper, 2-1 City. Careful, don't let the cross come in. So let's see what Dortmund are like when they have to come out and play. A few minutes left. Be careful, City. They have some danger in their team. Getting a bit tasty down there between the City and Dortmund fans in the segregated area. Go on. Go on. Oh! And God knows how you can leave a match as exciting as this with 3 minutes of extra time to go, or 3 minutes of added time rather. Go on. Go on. So keen observers amongst you will notice I'm not at the Northern Mutton tonight to give you the post-match pint and wrap. The traffic out of the stadium was abysmal. I shouldn't have been lazy, I should have walked, and it was a 45-minute bus ride instead of a 20-minute walk back to the centre. Anyway, I've managed to find myself a pint. And I was going to go home more or less straight after the match, and after having given you this review, thinking, oh, half-time, no, it's a boring one, it might be a 1-0 win or something, but no, it was another sweaty one, another exciting one, so I'm going to be out for a while tonight. Of course, I'm still on a high after yet another City comeback. Back in the day, we never used to come back. We either won the game early on, or we didn't, or sometimes scraped a draw. But the addition of Erling Haaland does seem to have changed that. Now, City were very sluggish in the first half, and I blame some of that on Mahrez and Grealish, who were not all up to speed. Okay, not everybody else was either, but in my opinion, they were the two chief culprits. Dortmund had a plan, they stuck to it very well, and I thought they played well and defended particularly well. In the second half, they pushed forward a little bit more, because in the first half, I thought their tactics were a bit cloppish, trying to force turnovers on the halfway line without committing too many men forward. But in the second half, they did commit a few men forwards, and they got their goal And it wasn't the first dangerous opportunity they'd had. They'd had one a few minutes earlier. I was a bit harsh on their goal, having reviewed the footage. It was all very much intended. Although it did seem a little bit more like ball hitting head at first, I don't think that was the case. And I was indeed saying, please don't score, get Grealish, Mahrez off, get Foden in, Alvarez or Bernardo. But unfortunately the goal came just as they were about to come on. The substitutions did mark an immediate increase in City's tempo. At the time, I thought after 70 minutes, we were not looking good. You sort of thought we must get one chance to get a draw out of this, which wouldn't have been a disaster in the scheme of things. To be honest, even with a loss, I'm pretty sure we would have qualified. But then out of nowhere, Johnny Stones with a rocket of a hit to equalise, and then a few minutes later, how the hell did Haaland get to that ball? What a player that guy is. If we keep him fit all season, we're going to go a long way, possibly win the whole thing. So City were a bit below par tonight, and I've been saying actually this season that we have not been as good as some of the pundits have been making us out to. Not that we've been bad, and we have this cheat code up front obviously, but apart from De Bruyne, a lot of the players are taking a little while to get used to Haaland's runs and movements, and the team needs a little more time to gel into what could be the perfect item. The result was very harsh on Dortmund, of course, who played a great tactical game and defended very well, but at the end of the day, when you've got the firepower that City have, these things can happen. Although having seen Sevilla away, who drew in Copenhagen today, I would suspect that Dortmund would take second place in this group. So 3 points for City, yet another late comeback inspired by Erling Haaland. We're looking good for the round of 16 of the Champions League already. As I just said, I think Dortmund will as well. We move on to the league game away at Wolverhampton Wanderers on Saturday morning. I'll be there covering that. I'll love you and leave you as always. Keep liking, keep sharing, keep subscribing, and most of all, don't forget, you can't beat a bit of mutton.